Ladies and gentlemen, look like this whole thing with Iran is really stepping up. A top Iranian general, and from what I understand, he was the general for the past 20 years. So this man has been leading every single Iranian operation militarily that has happened over the last 20 years. And this was Iranian General Qasem Soleimani, and he was killed on Trump's orders, ladies and gentlemen, just a few hours ago. So he was actually the one planning attacks on Americans that are in the Middle East right now. You know, they don't really have to cross the ocean to attack Americans. There are a lot of Americans living over in those regions. So that's where he wanted to set his sights on as far as attacking. Now, this came out in the New York Times, ladies and gentlemen. This is after the drone strike, as you can see in the picture, because that's what they used to kill him. Now, the Baghdad International Airport was where the strike happened. And from what I'm understanding, this general, along with others, were in a convoy. And an American MQ-9 Reaper drone fired missiles into the convoy that was leaving Baghdad airport, and that's how they killed this general along with several other people. So, ladies and gentlemen, of course, Iran is now declaring, they will take revenge on America for taking out this top general. We've seen these skirmish before in the past. And, it would just kind of blow over. And then we wouldn't hear about any more activity going on. But I think this time it's going to be different, y'all. They took out a general and several top officials that were, part of the Iranian military. I think this time it's going to be different. I do, because now you killed people, especially someone really significant to Iran. So, ladies and gentlemen, they're saying that the strike was also a serious escalation of Trump's growing confrontation with Tehran, one that began with the death of an American contractor in Iraq in late December. The Iranian leadership convened an emergency security meeting, and the country's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, issued a statement calling for 3 days of public mourning and then retaliation. So they're talking about the general. His departure to God does not end his path or his mission, the statement said, but a forceful revenge awaits the criminals who have his blood and the blood of others, martyrs, last night on their hands. The United States officials were braced for potential Iranian retaliation attacks, possibly including cyber attacks and terrorism on American interests and allies. So, yeah, I think America should definitely brace themselves because something is definitely coming. That's one thing about the people in this region. They will always retaliate. And we've seen this all throughout the years. So we will see what bag of tricks that the Iranians come up with at this point. But this is definitely becoming a big thing, and we know in the Bible it talks about wars and rumors of wars. And that scripture is often repeated when we see things like this happen. So Israel too was preparing for Iranian strikes. Some of the country's most popular tourist sites, including the ski resorts in Hermon, were closed, and the armed forces went on alert, officials say. From the start of the Syrian civil war, General Suleimani was one of the chief leaders of an effort to protect the president, Bashir al Assad of Syria, an important Iranian ally that brought together. Okay, so, he was in there protecting um, Syria along with Russia. They were in there together protecting that area. So, but that was far from the only front he operated on. American officials accused General Soleimani of causing the deaths of hundreds of soldiers during the Iraq War, when he provided Iraqi insurgents with advanced bomb making equipment and training. They also said he was the mastermind destabilizing Iranian activities that continued throughout the Middle East and are aimed at the United States, Israel, and Saudi Arabia. General Soleimani was actively developing plans to attack American diplomats and service members in Iraq throughout the region, the Pentagon said in a statement. General Soleimani and his Quad Force were responsible for the deaths of hundreds of Americans and coalition service members and the wounding of thousands more. Well, like I said, I think it is going to heat up now, opposed to an oil tanker being hijacked and stuff like that. Now you got a lot of people that are being targeted. And when you start targeting people, that usually changes everything, everybody. Okay, so in killing General Soleimani, Trump took an action that President George W. Bush and Barack Obama had rejected, fearing it would lead to war between the United States and Iran. So apparently, Trump ignored all of that, and he took a chance and took the general out. So it was successful in taking him out. While many Republicans said that the president had been justified, right now, ladies and gentlemen, I was looking at other articles before I came on to do this one. Congress right now is very divided on these activities that are going on right now. So I'm sure in the days to come, we're going to hear a lot of bickering back and forth out of Congress about what Americans should do about this situation. But one thing I do know, no matter how much there are divisions, when it comes down to the safety of Americans, especially on foreign soil, they will usually come together and it will become bipartisan. Now, Soleimani was an enemy of the United States. That's not a question. Senator Christopher S. Murphy, Democrat of Connecticut, wrote on Twitter using an alternate spelling of the Iranian name. The question is this: as reports suggest, did America just assassinate, without any congressional authorization, the second most powerful person in Iran, knowingly setting off a potential massive regional war? Yeah. Well, like I said, y'all, this attack is a lot different than things we've seen before. A lot of the things that we saw before in the past were things that were going out in the ocean, you know. But this is now on land, and it's attacking people. And you already saw what happened to the U.S. Embassy. And they're going to keep showing up there, because that's usually the pattern of what the people do when they're protesting. Okay, so Iranian Foreign Minister Javad Zarif called the killing of General Soleimani an act of international terrorism and warned it was extremely dangerous and a foolish escalation. The U.S. bears responsibility for all consequences of its rogue adventurism, Mr. Zarif tweeted. Speaking to reporters while on vacation at his Mar-a-Lago resort in Palm Beach, Florida, on Tuesday night, hours after an assault on an American embassy in Baghdad, the United States officials said was orchestrated by Iran. Trump, who was repeatedly vowed. So, yeah, because I did hear him in a couple of statements said, pretty much he was going to retaliate, but he did not want war with Iran. But we shall see. They're not going to take this attack on their general lightly, ladies and gentlemen. You can best believe, just watch in the coming days or even the coming weeks, Iran is going to answer this. They are. This is not like Iraq or Afghanistan. These people got something to fight with. It must have been back in about 2012 or 2013. I may have to go back online and look this up. It had to be somewhere around there. Back then, Iran was putting together a 1,000,000-man army within their country. They were recruiting heavily to build their army up to 1 million men. And I think they did hit that number. But I have to go back and look because, it's been a long time since I've seen that story, ladies and gentlemen. But I will go back and research and look for that story. So right now, I don't know, y'all. We're going to have to keep our eyes on Iran and see what happens. I think now 2020 is going to be a very interesting year, to say the least. Just looking at how it's starting out so far. We're just a few days in and look at all of the things that are happening right now. So y'all, please tell me what you think. I will definitely give you updates on this as it goes along. I just want to say, we know what the biblical prophecy says about these wars. So we can expect it to happen. Definitely. But please tell me what you think. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell. And I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.